Hi, welcome back to the channel, TrainStation2. Alright, happy to share good first in this first competition for Safety Earth, all thanks to the Innovations Center. And of course, I'm going to share here the various function of the Innovation Centers on what you can upgrade later on, probably once just the announcement of that innovation center in the midst of the first competition. Was really happy last leg of it. So at this juncture, we are left with about 6 hours or so. I was facing really a tough competitor. Almost lost it to it, and because I was I think behind him for about 20 EP or so. All thanks to the upgraded epic train as well as the legendary trains that allows me to complete the last two jobs, that allows me to have a very small narrow win. So I'm really appreciative of this, and I mentioned this before in my previous video about Innovation Center. Do not spend those bucks, alright, those money that you earn from the union. Now it's called the spring. Before that is winter season, now it's the spring season. When you earn those bucks or the dollars from the union play, save it up so you have a very good use of it right now in the Innovation Center. Of course, I'll be using more towards having a temporary increase in capacity of my trains, so that allows me to deliver more and that fights better in the competition. Alright, so that is something that you're going to look out for. That also means that probably we're going to pay more attention in doing some of the union play jobs, because otherwise we can't get those dollars or bucks, you call it. So generally that's how it works out. And of course now between the end of this competition, the first competition, and the start of the next one, there's about 24 hours or so. Make sure you make good use of these 24 hours to go and keep on building your event items, store them in the warehouse, and of course at the same time build all those non-event items and store them in the factory itself. Clear out the warehouse just to store those factory items. I think that's important. That's exactly what I'm going to do later on, especially the fact that I still have leftover hours from the Innovation Center of the expanded capacity, so I think that will be put to good use. And probably I'll try to finish up the last job in Tokyo in order to get my gold mine in Japan open up. So that's something I aim to do it as well. So that allows me to get more coins and probably can do 1 or 2 upgrades in Japan, and that allows me to fight better as well. So generally that's what I'm aiming to do within the next 24 hours. A very short time break, but there's no rest at all. So very quickly, let's get into the Innovations Center. Let's take a look at the options available right now. If you take a look, there's the engine overhaul, they call it. There's various options, and of course there's warehouse, there's training, there even non-event factory explicitly mentioned that allows you to have a better production capacity. So these are the things you can take a look and whether you want to go ahead with that. So apparently I'm not so interested in those in terms of ship trades or staff training or even the raw materials destination income. More interested in terms of not even the warehouse or the coins, but rather the engine overhaul. So you can see there are 4 engine types as usual, but it's a 12 hours temporary capacity increase. Cost wise is different, so we're going to spend it wisely. This juncture you see we're about 40, really very hard, because that equivalent to 1 job missing in order to get on par. Just getting when we need to have another job ahead of the competitor, a very, very strong one, I must say, being the fact that non-stop, I mean, throughout the whole of this first competition, we've been chasing neck to neck to each other. So this is something that all depends on luck sometimes when you go about starting late and you are faced with one. But if you start on time, I believe the top 10 will be this kind of competitor, and you'll be probably at the 11th or 15th rank. So you could think probably on whether do you want to go ahead to start early. So I have about $1,398 or the bucks, you call it, and I'm going to think wisely how to spend them. I don't think I'm going to spend any on warehouse coins or whatnot, but rather just the focus on the engine overhaul. Especially we just got a couple of hours to go. $180 is quite a lot actually. The fact that we earn very little from these spring seasons right now. Of course, thinking aloud, we need to complete a few jobs. Otherwise, we'll stand no chance. We're just 2 hours away. So decided eventually to go ahead to increase the capacity. I'm just checking out the engine, so you're selective of that. So I'm going to do the epic. I'm going to do the legendary. So both will have a 12 hours temporary increase, and with that, of course, hopefully you get 100 capacity train at the first time, because there's a 20 capacity addition, and I believe the epic will have a plus 15. So that gives really good. 12 will be 27, so definitely that helps a lot. Otherwise, I think there's a really painful one. Very good, a few hundred deliveries at the 12 capacity is really terrible. So then of course this we have a hit start as well. So all this comes into fair play. End of the day, fighting neck to neck, but yet with the boost of that, I'm not too sure whether it reflect fair play, but hopefully you have saved up lots of those dollars in order to achieve this advantage, comparative advantage I call it. Not really a fair play per se, but of course compared to those that spending gems is definitely a more fairer play then, because it's all through hard work and not through spending real money. So we've collected that 27, and we're going to collect that 40 really soon. Those chairs I'm going to make it done definitely, because I have stocks of chairs. Definitely I'm going to finish that job in order to when this 1 hour to go. I'll be really careful, because I'm going to spend all my time collecting, and I will miss that 1 hour job to return. The fact that every train sent out to return to collect EP, you need an hour, so I've got 24 minutes to make sure I make good use of these 24 minutes before I send out the trains. And I've definitely got to lock in at 7:55 or even very near to 8 p.m. in order to collect the last EP or last sets of EP. Alright, so that's the last hour of planning. Really hectic, and of course end of the day a lot of careful planning. Any wrong move will be losing this. Alright, so here we are at 75, also called 975, and the compare is 908. You'll be surprised, from the 908 actually this guy could jump up to the 1000 plus at the end of it. So it is definitely a very amazing jump, and I'm really lucky at the fact that I decided to indeed have that upgrade through the innovation center that allows me end of the day to make that last rush for the chairs delivery. And of course with that adds a little bit more, and 27 EP, and together what we have collected so far, I think that really gives us a very narrow win altogether. So really glad on that context. All right, so you can see here really capacity is full in the warehouse, and I think that is something that you can also spend bucks to increase, but I'm not going to waste those, because I think the precious bucks for me it will be on the train capacity. I think that's the best bet I could get in terms of the warehouse. I could easily dump away items rather than waste those precious dollars in an innovation center. So this is the last job, and let's see end of the day what's the total EP that we collected. Alright, you can see here 1042, just a very narrow win against the very tough competitor. It is just 18 seconds to go, and I'm really praying hard at this juncture that he doesn't spend gems and just win me with a very tiny or one job way. So really glad we have this narrow win. Even if it spent 27, it'll be 1042. Probably that's the reason why he didn't decide to spend those gems. So I'm really lucky here. Had it have another 40 EP job, I'll be a losing end, and all this will go to waste. But I'm really fortunate we managed to clear this out in the first competition, and you can see how close we are and how far the third person is. It's 1000 versus 400. So it is really ridiculous. The fact that it's a free-to-play, I'm really proud of this win. Probably this guy may be a free-to-play likewise, but very strong fleet. or very high chance is to pay to win, right? So that's the fact of life. Sometimes if you've got the money to spend and you want to win the game just for the sake of winning, by all means spend those money, because I welcome you to do so. Thank you for allowing us to play this free game after all. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a preparation work for the 24 hours, and good luck for the next competition. Goodbye.